Pirates, the infamous outlaws of the high seas, have long been romanticized in popular culture as fearless adventurers, feasting on tropical fruits, roasting whole pigs on pristine beaches, and drinking endless barrels of rum. Yet the reality of their lives was far more brutal, infinitely harsher and unimaginably less glamorous, where survival depended not on the thrill of sword fights or the chase of buried treasure, nor even on scurvy alone, which claimed countless victims, but on the constant merciless struggle to secure food, clean water, and safety amid the unrelenting dangers of the ocean. And the truth is that pirates would have murdered for a fresh apple, traded chests of gold for a barrel of drinkable water, and endured unspeakable hardship simply to delay starvation for a few hours longer. Because being trapped on a ship in the middle of the Caribbean with no hope of provisions turned every waking moment into a battle against hunger, thirst, disease, and the slow, agonizing decay of the human body. While Hollywood paints a picture of pirates as drunken revelers with endless feasts, the real men of the sea drank not for pleasure, but necessity, because water stored in barrels rotted within weeks, transforming into a thick, green, algae-filled sludge teeming with bacteria and organic matter, capable of killing faster than any enemy blade. And yet they drank it anyway, often mixing it with rum to create grog, a primitive water purification method that made the liquid barely drinkable, diluted just enough to reduce harmful microbes while leaving men functional, and sometimes spiced with sugar, lime, nutmeg, ginger, or even gunpowder depending on the captain's secret recipe. And the careful rationing of grog became not only a survival tool but a method of enforcing discipline and fairness, as taking more than your share was one of the most serious crimes aboard, punishable by marooning with only a pistol, a single bullet, and a bottle of water, demonstrating just how crucial communal sharing and equal distribution of resources were to life at sea. Food was equally scarce and perilous, and unlike the Royal Navy, where officers dined on roasted meats, bread, preserved fruits, and wine in their private quarters, while common sailors gnawed rock-hard weevil-infested biscuits and salt-preserved meats that could keep corpses from rotting, pirates instituted a radical egalitarian system codified in articles that guaranteed every crew member equal access to provisions, and captains like Bartholomew Roberts ate from the same pot as the newest recruit, whether the stew was fresh, rancid, or revolting, ensuring that all men shared both the pleasures and miseries of life aboard ship, and this equality and hardship created bonds, loyalty, and trust far stronger than rigid naval hierarchies could achieve, because when a captain picked weevils from his biscuit, drank algae-thick water, and suffered the same scurvy-induced gum pain, men knew he led by shared experience, not mere authority, and were willing to follow him into the most perilous situations, knowing he would share in every risk, danger, and deprivation. Starvation drove pirates to unimaginable extremes, as when Henry Morgan's 1671 march across Panama forced his 2,200 buccaneers to confront scorched earth tactics, poisoned wells, and abandoned livestock, leaving them to gnaw leather belts and satchels softened in water, pounded with stones, scraped of hair and grilled over fire, followed by the slaughter of abandoned dogs, some eaten raw, some boiled into nutrient-extracting soups, with even paws gnawed to extract sustenance until finally discovering rodents which were roasted, salted, and eaten as delicacies, illustrating how starvation rewrote morality, turning men who once scorned vermin into resourceful survivors. And when cattle were finally found and slaughtered, the physical relief could not erase the psychological scars inflicted by days of desperate hunger, leaving. Pirate life was a relentless struggle not only against hunger, thirst, and the unforgiving ocean, but also against disease, and none was more feared than scurvy, a slow, insidious killer caused by vitamin C deficiency, which began subtly with fatigue, swollen joints, and minor bruising, but quickly escalated into hemorrhaging gums, blackened spongy tissue, teeth falling out, bones breaking spontaneously, skin splitting, internal bleeding, and the slow, horrifying collapse of the human body, all while the victim remained conscious to watch himself deteriorate, and the unpredictability of who would survive made it seem as if divine judgment alone decided the fate of men, as some pirates inexplicably resisted the disease while their comrades withered away, a mystery that modern science now attributes to variations in vitamin C intake or individual bodily reserves. Yet to pirates it seemed a cruel lottery of fate, and captains faced impossible choices, balancing the need to sail, raid, and survive with the imperative to provide fresh fruit, vegetables, or citrus when available, sometimes bargaining with coastal towns to acquire supplies, while others were forced to leave dying crew members ashore to perish because their survival threatened the rest, illustrating the harsh pragmatism necessary for life at sea. In comparison, Royal Navy ships adhered to strict hierarchies, with officers enjoying proper meals and medical care, while common sailors suffered with rotting meat and weevil-infested biscuits, highlighting the contrast with pirate egalitarianism, where provisions, whether fresh or foul, were shared equally, creating a unique social order built on mutual dependence, trust, and fairness, and ensuring loyalty, because men knew that their captain and shipmates shared every hardship, from contaminated water to scurvy pain, and that selfishness or hoarding could be fatal, with violations punished by marooning, a punishment that forced reflection on the importance of cooperation and equitable distribution. Leadership aboard pirate ships was meritocratic, often based on skill, bravery, and experience rather than birth or rank, and the Articles of Agreement codified equality, distribution of plunder, voting rights, and disciplinary measures, showing that democracy, discipline, and survival were intertwined, and that pirates understood human nature and motivation better than naval officers, because shared misery forged trust, while hierarchy and privilege bred resentment and inefficiency. Psychological endurance was equally vital, as isolation, storms, combat, disease, and deprivation tested the mind, and pirates developed rituals, humor, songs, storytelling, and games to maintain morale and solidarity, transforming misery into shared experience and teaching resilience, adaptability, and resourcefulness, while reinforcing the bonds that ensured that no man would abandon another in danger or starvation, and that communal survival was prioritized over individual preference or greed. Pirates also left unintended cultural legacies, as survival-driven adaptations spread globally, from cooking methods learned from Caribbean natives, to food innovations like tortillas entering European vocabulary through pirate journals, and barbecuing, preservation, and seasoning techniques influencing global culinary practices, showing that even in extremity, humans create enduring impact. Every day was a delicate negotiation between physical necessity and social order. Sailors mended sails, swabbed decks, prepared food, rationed water and grog, stood watch, fought storms, and readied for raids or combat, knowing that failure could result in death by drowning, disease, starvation, or enemy fire, and that success required cooperation, trust, and discipline, underscoring the extraordinary human capacity to endure and thrive in harsh environments. Extreme deprivation altered morality and perception. Rats became sustenance, leather belts turned into chewable,